You got it. I like that. You put Josh, don't read this.
Because you like to read.
I only did it last week just to mess with you.
Still would have messed it up.
They're allowing the changers in MCU.
What's up, Facebook? Just started a live on there. Show will be starting in about 1 minute.
Which Facebook page are we live on? Kramer, the SplitView?
I think we're on my page. The only one I could get it through. I was originally trying on the page, but it didn't work.
Okay.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Split View. Another one with a full house today, which is always good. This is
That's
Kramer.
a card game.
This is Kramer. Yeah, if you're playing a card game, it's definitely good. This is still Kramer. That's Josh interrupting me as always. And across from us today is Poison. Hi, Poison.
Hello.
I'm live streaming this, or at least attempting to. I'm pretty sure it's going out, and I'm recording it as well, just in case. I'll put that out on YouTube later. And we are also airing on North Coast Underground. So if you are listening, watching, whatever you're doing, hello, and thank you for joining in. Today we are getting into a bunch of stuff. We had a quiz we kind of started last show that was like getting into different weird laws. Well, I kind of continued the trend this week with the trivia. This is more just general trivia questions, but they're a little on the odd side. So we'll see how we do with those here in a moment. But just in general, I usually like to start out this show by asking you guys how your week's been.
Pretty good. I'm doing better than last week, I can tell you that.
Anything in particular going on this week?
Not really.
Alrighty, then you're boring. And you?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm just overwhelmed with tasks and things and adulting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, adulting can be a bummer.
It can at times.
Well, we have like multiple projects going on right now, so I have the same deal going on as both of you, really. So I can't really say much. I guess my week's been boring as well. But we can get into this quiz, and that's a little bit more interesting. And after this quiz later on, I want you guys to know we'll be getting into some U.S. news and some local news, and there's been a bunch of crazy stories that happened this weekend that revolved around Ohio, actually. Like, there was a court case that got started in Cleveland. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but it's a Disney TV star who got himself in some trouble.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll come back to that later, but I just want everybody to know if the quiz starts driving you crazy, we will be getting into news soon. But I kind of like playing around a little bit with this. It's always kind of fun to start different things and see how they work out. So I have this quiz, and I guess I'll just ask you two, and we'll kind of do a little Poison versus Josh this time. We did a Josh versus James on our other show, our sports podcast, and it didn't go too well.
Why
Yeah,
is
but
that?
I'm not making any excuses, but I tried making a personal adjustment, and that adjustment zapped my energy, and I did not feel like myself last week. So
You were definitely low energy that day.
yeah, so
Well, we'll see tomorrow because we're gonna redo it tomorrow
right,
too.
so
But this is more general knowledge.
Right.
Like I feel like this is pretty open on who can grab. And to be fair, you were playing somebody who was like, it kind of felt like James was like a trivia king on that one.
yeah, I would say when it comes to sports stuff, I go more for like the obscure topics and all that.
Word.
I like that.
Word. But I have a quiz, and I love the first question. This starts off great. What is the most common color of toilet paper in France? And just for a hint, it is not white.
I'm gonna say purple.
Purple. All right, we got Josh saying purple. You want to throw in a guess, Poison?
Okay, I would say brown.
All right.
Like a paper bag type brown.
I mean, I could see why you say that.
Yeah,
I guess. I mean, you wouldn't have to worry about like.
But no, it could also be a bad thing because, like, when I was younger, they told me to wipe until you can't see it no more. But if it's brown and you keep,
That would be kind of difficult.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
very difficult.
And just so anybody watching the live stream knows, like, I have Poison, you're kind of like half cut out. You can kind of hard, but for you to like angle more towards my left, so closer to Josh.
Oh, okay. Well,
But it's hard to get all three of us in on the shot.
okay.
So if you see, if you don't see Poison but you hear it, I just want you guys to know she's not like a disemboweled body in here, but
Oh no, I'm a ghost.
she's a ghost. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's the ghost of Poison.
Oh no, run away.
Question. Oh, did I ever even get the? No, I didn't
No.
get the answer. That might help. The answer to that question was actually pink. So you're both wrong on that one.
Darn it.
Wow.
They go with pink toilet paper over in El France or French. I don't know how you say French in French.
But I have had a tissue box with pink, so I should maybe have guessed that.
That makes sense too. So jumping, let's jump into something else. If you dug a hole through the center of the earth and you were starting from England I'm sorry. You were starting in New Zealand. Which European country would you end up in? So you're digging a hole, you're in New Zealand, and if you keep digging through, in theory, you would end up on the other side of the globe. Where?
I'm not very good with geography.
I'm not either, so.
Although I know several countries.
You know what? Yeah. Are you any good at geography?
No.
All right, so I'll throw out a clue that it pretty much narrows it down to like 3 or 4 countries. They speak Spanish.
I'll go with Spain.
Any guess? Poison?
I would have probably said Spain too.
All right, 1-1, because it is Spain. All right, so you both got one right. We got 1-1 so far.
Okay, yay.
Henry VIII introduced which? This is kind of like a history question. Henry VIII introduced which tax in England in 1535?
Oh God.
I'll give you a clue on this too. It's a tax that I don't know how to like give it without giving it totally away. It's a tax on something on your body. Something that Josh is doing this month for the NHL playoffs.
What? Oh, a beard tax.
That is correct. It is in fact a beard tax. King Henry VIII apparently had a thing about beards.
Okay, so he texted if you had one? Or-
Yeah, if you had one. But I feel like I gave that one to Josh because he knew
Yeah.
exactly what he was doing
So
for
you're
the
growing out your
NHL.
beard? That's
Yeah.
the plan? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Have you
supposed
ever
to be.
had a full beard before?
No, this is actually the first time.
Okay.
So, yeah, and it's not doing bad. It's starting to come out. But and you can see it on the live stream too.
Yeah.
Jumping to the next question. What is the correct term for a question mark immediately followed by an exclamation? So if you're at the end of the sentence and you're like, question exclamation mark.
Incorrect punctuation?
I don't know, but I kind of do that a lot.
I do
and
too.
I don't know why I do it. I just do it.
It has an official word that I wouldn't have really known.
Incorrect punctuation is not my actual guess. I was just kind of pointing that out there as a little bit of a joke.
I mean, the best clue I could really give on this is that like it's a word that takes the other two words and just really shoves them together. I'll just throw the answer out on that one. And this would be one of those times it'd be nice to have like a phone. And I'm looking to see if we have any comments, but not yet. But the answer is an interrobang.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed
No,
that.
not at all.
No way.
It's an interrobang. I would not have known that either.
You probably could have asked me that question like 15 times at least, and I don't think I would have guessed that as the answer.
The average person does what 13 times a day?
Blinks their eyes?
Any guesses, Poison?
Mm,
I'll go ahead and just say no. Josh is wrong.
okay, at least 13 times per day.
13 times per day.
So that's at least, or that's the like accurate number.
It's the average.
The average.
Average.
Touch your face.
Actually laughing.
What?
Yeah.
No, I don't laugh that much.
I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this next word. Coprastaphobia is the fear of what?
Can you say that in English?
It's COPRAST and then another AST and then an A phobia. So it's coprastaphobia.
Coprastaphobia. Yeah, that sounds English.
It is the fear of constipation.
What?
And this is a sports one, so Josh, you better jump on this.
Yeah.
What were the first ice hockey pucks made out of?
Oh God, I do know this one.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, they weren't originally made out of rubber, which they are now.
It's something very makeshift that if you were in Canada, you would have an easy time getting.
Right. Because that's where the sport of hockey originated, is in Canada.
Any guesses?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
It's not foil.
I hope
is
this
it?
isn't on the tip of your tongue. It is cow dung. Yep, apparently they would use frozen cow dung. I'm trying to find a
I wonder if that actually would explode if poop hit the fan.
That's a good question.
I think they tested that once on Mythbusters.
That's a pretty literal interpretation. Jumping into the next one, it's illegal, and this kind of ties into the last one. It's illegal in Texas to put what on your neighbor's cow?
Dung?
A bell.
No, I would just say the questions went together. No, it's actually graffiti.
Graffiti.
So I don't know if that's a problem in Texas.
I guess so.
People are tagging cows.
I didn't know putting graffiti on your cow was a thing.
Apparently.
Would you ever do that?
You know what? Does the Chick-fil-A cow have a graffiti on it, or?
I think it does actually.
Okay.
I mean,
So
if
two more.
you're saying the eat more chicken thing is graffiti, then yeah.
Two more, and then we're gonna go to commercial. Come back with some news. But true or false? You can sneeze in your sleep.
I feel like I've done that before, so I'm gonna say true.
I'll say false.
It is actually false.
I've never done it before.
And that actually kind of evens you guys up again.
Yay.
So we'll just say this one's for
Over.
the for this week. This next question is for all the marbles. What is Scooby Doo's full name?
He has a
Scooby Doo.
full name?
Apparently, and all I can say is don't overthink it.
Zoinks! We gotta get out of here, Scoob.
Scooby Dooby Doo?
Oh, you're so close.
I didn't watch the show that much.
Scoobert do.
Goober?
Yeah, I've never seen
Let
that.
me see if I can. Let me see if I can find one more to end this on.
I actually do a pretty good Scooby Doo
Yeah, you do.
impression.
All right, I got one, but mind you, this is kind of a trick question. Where was the fortune cookie invented?
I want it. I'm gonna say here in America.
You have a more specific answer, poison. Josh had the right idea, but I just want to see if you can narrow it down to like.
I'm just gonna go with a random guess of Atlanta, Georgia.
The complete other side of the globe, or of the country.
That's a
I
horrible.
got nothing.
California, San Francisco.
That is a horrible Atlanta accent. Oh, God.
Okay, we're gonna try one more, and if not, it's a tie. What is the cross between a donkey and a zebra known as?
Donkey and a zebra?
Think of, you know the word earlier when it was pretty much just the two words combined? Think of that.
A zebronki?
Very close.
I feel like I should know this because I feel like there was a thing that like Chris Rock had said something like this before, and it was a dunk bruh or donkey bruh or something. I think I'm saying it
Z
wrong.
dunk, or yeah, a Z dunk.
A
Huh.
Z-dunk.
I was almost there.
So I mean that sounds like a slang term. So Z dunk.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are gonna hit a commercial break, long overdue. Actually, not a commercial break. We're gonna play "On the Bar," which is a song by K. Sue. And after that, we will have probably a quick Be On Air commercial here from OMS, and we will be right back with your countrywide news.
It was definitely a joke on one of his stand-ups. But I can't think of it. I'm gonna have to look it up. It was definitely a joke because they said it was on the freeway or something like that. It was either him or Kevin Hart. Who was it? Oh my god, that's weird. A Z-Dog.
Z dunk.
I thought it was,
Okay, well today I've probably laughed the average of 13 times, but that's yeah.
I thought it was zebronki. I don't know. Dude, just so you know, Jurassic Bell is not from Disney Channel. Nickelodeon. That's what channel Drake and Josh is on.
I didn't realize that he got indicted out of Cleveland too.
Mm.
Oh, Josh, be careful. You dropped the S word.
I did?
Not a huge deal. I think they said the F word's the one that you gotta really watch for. But
Yeah, I did it.
you said something about the F hitting the fan.
No, I did. I said poop.
Maybe I misheard it, but I thought that's what you
I
said.
don't think I said.
I think you might have just got lost, like in talking.
I don't.
But if not,
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about. But I don't remember if you said
I don't think I.
word. But
If I did
so
say
if you
that,
didn't, you didn't. But I'm just saying if you did.
you may have.
if I did, I didn't mean to.
I don't think you did it. But I just don't want you to get yelled at.
It was tricky on accident. I did.
This is nice because I can actually talk with people apparently. People are commenting on me. But anyway, one
Yeah.
comment.
I messaged you this, but I was like messing with like my camera and stuff, and I was able to get everybody in the shot, except like the two people at the ends of the table. Either like it would be you out of the frame, or it would be me out of the frame. If we were to do the live stream on my YouTube channel for the show tomorrow, I couldn't figure out a way to do it otherwise.
My girlfriend said you should have known Scooby's name. I don't know why.
I don't.
Goober. That's what you said, right? Goober?
Yeah.
Uber.
Goober Goob? I've never heard that.
Neither have I.
So apparently I was like this year's old when I realized that Shaggy used to get high, and apparently Velma, Daphne, and Fred was in an open relationship. Like they were having threesomes and stuff.
Hey, what?
They were having threesomes and stuff. They were in an open relationship with each other. Fred, Daphne, and Velma. That's what they say.
So it was two girls and one guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
They said that's why Scooby-Doo and Shaggy always had to go by themselves, because they used to duck off, and Shaggy was always, getting high. That's why he had the munchies. So just little hidden stuff in these cartoons.
Where did you ship it at?
It was like a whole video on YouTube
Oh.
about it.
Hello and welcome back to SplitView, where we do this thing every Tuesday at 3 o'clock, right? This is like the first time in a long time we were actually like pretty close to starting right at 3 too.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty proud of that. But anyway, I got a text and I just realized that you guys on the live stream, you can comment at any time and I'll try to keep looking at it. But somebody commented basically saying they thought that Josh should have known Scooby-Doo's name. So I created a poll and asked, have you heard of that? And we'll see what people say. So if you are watching live, or even if you are checking this out later, because I'm going to put this back up later, then definitely answer that question.
I never really watched Scooby-Doo when I was a kid, so.
I mean, I did, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't heard of that either. So I'm wondering about if this quiz is right or not. But hit that poll and we'll find out.
Yeah.
Let's Google it.
You can definitely Google it.
I've always watched Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, it's called.
But while you're Googling it, we will jump real quick into our country news topics. And the first one is Judge Judy. Now, do either of you guys Judge Judy fans?
I've watched her show like 3 or 4 times at most.
I feel like it's one of that shows that even if you're not a fan, you've probably seen some episodes.
Yeah.
It's just constantly on. My sister, oldest sister, was a huge fan of it, so it was always on in our house or whatever. How about you, Poison?
Have I watched it?
Yeah, are you a fan?
I'm not a fan, but I watched it when it was nothing else to watch on TV.
It's one of those kind of shows,
Yeah.
right?
I just don't get why there's like so many shows where it's like you have a judge and you have 2 people in court. Like,
For some reason, that's a popular format.
I don't get why that's a popular format. Somebody please explain it to me, because I don't get it.
But Judge Judy says she is having a Bill and Melinda Gates divorce with CBS because she's splitting off from CBS and she's starting her own streaming service. But the thing is, Judy Shineland has been the most popular and best compensated judge out of all the judges shows the entire time she's been on. And she's never had a bad thing to say about CBS, but now that it's ended, she's coming out and really just dropping tea left and right. The show, which first aired in 1996, it is now going to be taken from CBS and put on a streaming service. And Shineland has also started her own production company because she says she's unhappy with how CBS handled another series she created, Hot Bench, which I've never even heard of.
Yeah, it says that she's taking her legal skills to streaming, as you said, and her new court show is set to premiere on Amazon's IMDb TV later this year.
That's got to be a newer streaming service because I haven't heard of that either.
Yeah, the only thing I've heard, like streaming service I've heard of when it comes to Amazon is Amazon Prime. I don't know what Amazon IMDb is. If anybody in the comments does, please write what it is, because I would like to know.
So here's a question branching off this topic, but from what you just said, do either of you guys have cable at this point?
Yes, I do.
Because I don't even have cable.
No, totally fine to me.
We do Roku, and we get different apps on there that we need, and like we have one that has some cable channels that we like specifically, and it kind of tailors to what we want. So it's cheaper too, way cheaper.
Yeah, I get that, but I still have cable because like I want to be able to like record stuff on my DVR, or like if I want to go back and watch like a game that I missed, or I watch a cool new show called Lego Masters on Fox. I don't know if you've seen it, but if I miss an episode and I record it, I can go back and watch that. So that's why I use cable primarily.
Makes sense. So the only thing I noticed with this is like we were just talking about with these streaming services, it seems like they're just more and more anymore, and like all these different shows are going to streaming services. There's a Rugrats reunion on one streaming service, a Friends reunion on another streaming service.
The new iCarly that's coming back is going to be on exclusively on Paramount Plus, which I think is a big miss because I don't know about you, but I loved watching iCarly when I was.
I wasn't an iCarly. That was way after I was.
Did you watch it? Yeah. I'm sad that Sam is not going to be on the show, but we're going to. The character, I think her name was Janet McCarthy.
I think it's McCarthy or McCarthy, something like that.
Somewhere around there. She said she didn't really want to come back and do the show, so I'm not going to hold it against her or anything like that.
Well, speaking of Disney stars, there was one who got in a lot of trouble over the weekend, and I wasn't even going to do this story, honestly. Like, I thought about it, and I'm like, no. Well, then when I read it, I realized how local of a story it really is. So I kind of waited for local news. And I'm going to take a break real quick because it'll put us back on time where we need to be. And we're going to come back and do a little bit of a longer segment with the third segment because I want to talk about that. And also, would you guys eat insects if people told you like that was the new normal? Yes or no?
Yes.
Josh is jumping on like that. Poison?
If I was just told it was a new normal, just like word of mouth.
Well, we have a story when we come back, so just keep that question in your mind.
I'll keep it there and put a pin in it.
All right, because we're going to come back and talk about insects. Who wants to eat insects? Because that might be your only options in the future. And we will be right back at some point. Now.
Dude, he's a Nickelodeon.
Oh, whatever. I thought it was a Disney show.
Drake and Josh? No, that's Nickelodeon show.
Oh, but it is definitely Scoobert.
Oh, it was Hubert?
Yep.
I think I said her name right. Janet McCarthy. Or
I don't know. I think it's like McCarthy. Something like that.
Jeanette McCurdy.
McCurdy, that's what it is.
I think I was close enough that people are going to come at me like, why'd you say her name so incorrectly?
Hello and welcome back. SplitView.
SplitView.
Yeah, I like saying that.
It's fun.
Really is. So we are back, and we're gonna jump into this real quick because I have 3 different topics I want to hit in this segment. And this first one is there's a restaurant in France that is trying to start a new craze, and what they're trying to say is that plant-based protein is kind of a new craze, and there's a reason for it, which is that meat isn't really all that sustainable. Well, this place in France is trying to say instead of doing plant-based, it's better off to do insect protein, and that is what they are starting to do there. It is Laurent Bayet tasting menu so far. It's a tasting menu, and they have a prawn salad with yellow mealworm, crunchy insects on a bed of vegetables, and also chocolate-coated grasshoppers available in this tasting menu. The Parisian chef says that it's the ideal dish for first-timers, and she says they have interesting flavors, which I'm sure they do. The European Food Safety Agency, EFSA, in January deemed that mealworm is fit for human consumption and by May have approved its sale. The agency says they've gotten more than a dozen other applications for restaurants that want to use insect-based food, including crickets and locusts. And this isn't the first time, believe it or not, that I've heard something like this.
Yeah, this is not the first time I've heard this either.
Because there is a lot of concern over like meat and how it affects the environment and how it's going to not long term sustainable, I guess. But insects?
So I've heard about this, but I want to touch on what you said about like meat and stuff. There was a brief period, like when I was in high school or whatever. Don't remember exactly when it was, but I did try to go vegetarian, not because of health reasons or whatever, but because of stuff I was talking about last week on the show. If you remember how I said, like, I support environmental policies and
Yeah, I remember.
animal rights and stuff like that. So my thinking was, if I try and go vegetarian, that's my way of, standing up for animal rights.
I've thought about going vegetarian before, and for me, it actually has less to do with that than it does with health and losing weight, because I feel like I'd be able to lose weight easier on red meat from my diet. Any thought on that, Poison, with red meat? Are you just a straight carnivore?
Pretty much. No, I'm just a overall balanced eater. Like I eat everything that's in the food pyramid, and
Right.
I eat certain red meats. Like I tried to cut out pork completely, but I cannot get over bacon and pepperonis. But other than that, I do not eat pork.
There is a story that we will touch on tomorrow on our sports show where a football coach actually forced a Jewish football player to eat a pepperoni pizza.
But that's for tomorrow. You love to bring in tomorrow's show on this.
Yes, I know.
You're stealing valuable real estate.
Kramer, so back to asking me if I would eat insects. Okay, so you guys remember the show Fear Factor, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I will only eat insects if I'm getting paid for it, number one. And for number two, if there's like totally nothing else, nowhere to eat, like if it's a apocalypse or something happened to where I don't have anything else, and that's the only way I'm gonna survive.
I totally agree with that.
So, but what if, like, let's say you were a chef. You're on the show Chopped, and one of the basket ingredients is insects. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'd find a way to make it work because I want to win.
Yeah, but that don't mean I gotta taste it. You know how many people cook without tasting their own food, and it's good to other people?
All I'm gonna say on this, and then we can move on, because
I would eat insects.
My thing is, like, we were raised to eat red meat. It was still considered normal all through the 80s, 90s, early 2000s even, before they really started to push back on red meat. So it's hard to change like habits like that. I feel like in the future, though, they might start looking into stuff like this. I think it's still going to be hard to push it on our generation, though.
Right. The one last thing I want to say before we move on is insects. They're never going away. They outnumber humans. I think in a ratio of like 7 to 1 or something like that.
Well, there's that reassuring statistic from Josh. If you have no other reason to listen to this show, Josh will scare you. But speaking of scary, man, I saw this story over the weekend and I couldn't believe it. I guess I got this wrong earlier. Drake and Bell, or Drake and Josh, is a TV show that it was on Nickelodeon. I thought it was on Disney Channel. But there was a show on Nickelodeon, it's a kid's show regardless, called Drake and Josh. And Drake Bell, the star of that show, I'm thinking too fast, was charged for crimes against a child in Ohio, specifically a case. Like when I first saw this, I thought it was like a lot of other cases where it's like child porn or something, and what ends up happening is it's like a federal charge. This is actually a case with one specific victim, and it happened in the Cleveland area.
Huh.
So he's indicted out of a Cleveland court, and it's actually the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office who's bringing that indictment. They told CBS News over the weekend that the alleged female juvenile victim filed a report with their local police department in October 2018, which is crazy because we're just finding out about all this, but they didn't get the evidence they needed until now, which is why that they just started with this indictment. And is this guy from Canada, do you know?
I don't know where Drake Bell is originally from.
Well, I believe so, because it says in here that Canadian authorities are cooperating with Cleveland police, so I'm assuming they're going to have to extradite him, and I believe they did. Thought I saw over the weekend that if anybody knows for sure, they can drop it in the comments. But
or maybe that it was that the show was filmed in Canada, but I don't know.
I know he was arrested and indicted over the weekend. They had to send him somewhere. I'm just not sure if it's Canada.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but I loved watching that show. One of my favorite episodes was when Drake and Josh were stuck in the treehouse, and Josh goes, "Hey Drake, where's the door?"
I didn't watch this show, but it's crazy just to know that there's somebody who was on Nickelodeon that's out here sending messages, because that's basically from what I'm reading, like the crux of this case is that there was inappropriate social media sent to months leading up to a concert that he was having, dude was actually going to have, and he was trying to get this girl to meet him at the concert. That's like the whole case. And they have a court date set for June 23rd, so I'm sure more is going to come out. But just knowing that this grown man, because he was like 27 at the time.
But did he know that was a minor?
See, it doesn't get into details like that. It makes you wonder, though, if it's 15 years old with a 27, that's a huge difference.
Yeah. It just says that Bell was 31 at the time of the alleged incident, but it doesn't say how old the victim is.
Well, every article I read about this was real small, because it just really happened. I think the indictment came out Friday, so we'll probably find out more, like I said, but first of all, the fact that it happened, but also that it's so like tied in with Cleveland. I did not realize that.
And it's just so, oh my goodness, social media is just so misleading sometimes. Like when I was a younger girl, like we looked like we were our age.
Oh yeah,
now,
and it gets worse and worse.
Yeah. So I just hope that,
Poison knows this. I used to mention this towards the beginning of the show that I have a granddaughter. Well, I don't know if I ever told you, but we did find out it's a girl.
Yeah.
So I have a granddaughter due in I'm going to get this right. It's the same month I graduate. When do we graduate? October, right?
Yes, October.
So I believe the kid's either in September or October. But so I have a younger female coming, and this always worries me. When I grew up, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was like the wild west of the internet. Like you could do whatever you wanted. It's changed a little since then, but stuff like this makes me wonder how much it's really changed.
I don't know.
It seems like people are still using it to lure in victims.
Yeah.
And that's what you don't want anybody to become. Well, on better news for Cleveland, though, like something you'd rather hear being talked about with Cleveland,
and something I'm very excited
I
about.
figured you would be. The Cleveland Air Show will return this year.
Yes.
After being canceled last year. It returns to the Sky Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
And It will be held, of course, at Burke Lakefront Airport and will feature U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds.
That's right.
Each show day of that weekend, so 6 select Thunderbirds will put their distinctive red, white, and blue jet fighters through a 50-minute choreographed performance.
I have seen this show a lot. What my family usually does is we go out into the lake on our family boat that we have. We might end up selling it because it keeps breaking down.
Anybody want a boat?
Anyway, and we anchor and we just watch the air show. And some of the things these jets do, not just the Thunderbirds, but the Blue Angels come in the years that the Thunderbirds don't, but you have other jets there, like you have the F-16 Hornet that sometimes comes. You have a jet called the Harrier, which, have you heard of a Harrier jet before?
No.
It can go up and, I believe, if I have this correct, it can go up and down and hover like a helicopter.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But it's a jet. And they have they have a truck that has a jet engine on it, and they also do like mock explosives, which I'm not a fan of.
I'll mock explode you. This is the I went to this one time when I was like probably like 6 or 7 years old, and this year is the first year in a while I kind of feel like going again, just because nothing's been going on. So it's like I want to go to everything. Have you ever actually seen this, Poison?
No.
It is amazing.
And you've been like multiple times, Josh.
Yeah.
So you're definitely going this year.
Yeah. I particularly love the Thunderbirds because there was a TV show that I watched when I was a kid called the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, I remember.
So whenever I watch like the Thunderbird jets, I always think of that TV show.
Well, there you go. There's a nice image to put in your head. The Thunderbirds ho. And
Thunderbirds ho.
Isn't that what they say?
No.
Maybe I'm just making it up.
No.
I thought they were like Thunderbirds ho.
No, it was Thunderbirds are go.
Well, it was close. It's a perfect time to take a break. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to play a short song. It's less than 3 minutes. It's called 216 AM by Mike Giovanni, and then we will be right back after that. So hang around, because we're going to come back, wrap up today's show with our usual horoscope and, well, astrology and astronomy wrap up. I swear I thought That's funny.
Thunderbirds ho.
I swear I thought it was Thunderbirds ho. Oh.
You know what show I'm talking about, though?
I do.
Like they were puppets.
I remember.
I loved that
Yeah, the
show.
most I've seen was them like practicing for the air show.
It's so cool.
And I had to look and see what day Labor Day falls on. It's normally anywhere between like the 1st and 7th of September. My birthday is the 2nd, and I don't remember the last time it's actually been on my birthday. It's been like forever.
Now I've got my energy back. Is anybody commenting? Mm. It says on here that the live show hasn't started on this Facebook.
Are you on mine?
Oh, did you try and do the
I
Facebook
tried to, it didn't work.
through the so what's the catch Facebook?
Yeah, well, I had to stop it because I was trying to test something and it didn't work.
Mm.
But check out my page. This stream should be on there.
Okay, so wait, what's your what is
Jeremy
it?
Evans. JEREMM. Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna share it to our page and stuff in here.
Yes, it has you live right now. 4 people have commented.
4 comments.
Oh.
It's me and my girlfriend.
Alright, I don't see yours. Let me see it.
Do you know what? Do you have our page on there, Poison?
I thought I did. Hold on.
I just responded to your girlfriend.
Hello and welcome back to today's episode of SplitView, and we are back with astronomy and astrology. I keep wanting to say horoscopes, but it sounds better. Astronomy and astrology segment.
Yep.
Do me a favor, Poison. I realize you're gonna be here today. Look up. It doesn't matter where. I don't care where you get it from. Look up a version of your horoscope for me.
Okay, can do.
And while you're doing that, we'll go over ours. But for Kramer, me, I am a Scorpio, and it says that life is going to get way sweeter and hotter come Thursday when the year's only new moon in Gemini, also a galvanizing solar eclipse, powers up my 8th house of intimacy, seduction, and soul merging. This is the super house, or no, so I'm sorry, Scorpio house of the zodiac wheel. So even if these moonbeams bring one of the trademark surprises, you'll still feel in your element. Phew! Any new relationship that sparks up under this lunar lift has the potential to go the distance, but your job is to be brutally honest with yourself about your long-term potential. For a couple, these erotically charged moonbeams may burst the urge to merge on a far deeper level. At far deeper level. Make a point over the coming 2 weeks to talk about the next steps, laying your cards on the table about what you truly desire. Bearing in mind those dreams could manifest by the full moon on December 18th.
So for me, I'm Aquarius, and it says, you won't be able to duck the spotlight or any emerging superfans this Thursday. Cool, I might get some superfans.
So we did.
When the Gemini new moon stokes your impossibly flamboyant 5th house. I didn't know I had a 5th house.
It's all horoscope. I'm just going to say it. Horoscope terms.
This one's a power-packed solar eclipse, which throws an element of exciting uncertainty into the mix. Seize the chance to audition for whatever your heart desires, be it a new romantic role or a prominent position on an upcoming project. You've got this in the bag, Aquarius. What you don't want to do is underestimate your own value. Odds are you'll bring more to this mission than anyone expects. That's just how your devoted, high-vibe sign rolls. So when it comes time to talk compensation, don't let your charitable spirit take hold. While you don't want to bid yourself out of a plum opportunity, your efforts will ideally be attracting abundance for everyone involved. And unless this is expressly stated as a volunteer position, you need to be rewarded for your efforts. But wait, there's more.
It is very much a volunteer position, by the way, but
New moons bring fresh starts, so let it infuse any creative area of your life that felt stagnant lately. The fifth house also rules risk taking and fertility. If you've got bambinos on the brain, then this is a right time to go for it. If you definitely do not want that outcome, double down on precautions 100% of the time. Already residing in a couple bubble, this rarefied eclipse could inspire you to take a big next step, like moving in together and making it official in another way.
it's crazy that both our horoscopes are like very intimate
Yeah.
this month. But
And
so do you have bambinos on the mind, Josh?
the unfortunate part is I don't have a girlfriend right now. I want one, but I don't have one right now.
Well, I mean, you don't need a girlfriend to have babies on the mind, though. Would you overall, would you like kids?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I'll let you off the hook with that. And Poison, you grab one?
I hope I didn't sound desperate by saying that.
No. I think it's good to set your intentions early. But what do you got for you're a Virgo, right?
Yep. So for Virgo, I have, okay, you may find today a bit upsetting. Virgo, your nurturing instincts genuinely want to assist the many people who ask for help and advice, yet you can't shake the feeling that they're taking advantage of you or trying to make you do things you don't want to do. Yes, it's hard to be a good parent to others and yourself at the same time.
Huh.
So how you feel about that?
Do I gotta go home?
Do you have to go home?
After this, do I have to go home?
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I mean, I guess you
Aw.
can stay here until like 10:30, but
That's a good song. I know what song that lyric is from. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it looks like when I leave out of here, reality gonna set in. Somebody's gonna call my phone and get on my nerves. Pretty much, that's what I get out of this.
sounds about right.
So for our bonus astronomy story, we have stuff about stars.
Yeah, and what I did with this, Jed, I actually I just take like the first sentence of each one.
Yeah.
Because each one is a different fact about stars.
Right. So every star you see in the night sky is bigger and brighter than our sun. And one thing I will add to that is some of the stars you're seeing at night may have already like burned out or gone supernova, but you're still seeing the light because they're thousands or maybe millions of light years away.
Another one is that they say you can't see millions of stars on a dark night. They say that this is a myth that they say on TV a lot that you can see millions. It's actually only about 2,000 to 5,000 stars that you're able to see at any time.
Another one, it says that we're used to saying um, that blue is usually cold and red usually means hot, right?
Yeah.
However, that's not the case because I believe with stars it's the opposite.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, where blue stars are the hottest and the red stars you see are the coolest, but they are still, even if you say a star is cool, it's still, hotter than what you can get on Earth.
Figuratively cool.
Yeah.
You want to break the fourth one, please? First sentence or so.
Okay, stars are black bodies. A black body is an object that absorbs 100% of all electromagnetic
Magnetic.
electromagnetic radiation. I can't talk with this darn mask on. Okay, that is light, radio waves, and so on that falls on it.
So apparently they are black bodies.
Right.
And number 5, there are no green stars, which is actually funny because what's number 6, Josh?
Number 6, our sun is a green star.
And it says about this that the sun is a green star, or more specifically, a green-blue star, whose wavelength lies clearly in the transition area of the spectrum between blue and green.
Yeah. And number 7 is that our sun is a dwarf star. I've heard that, but which means it's on the smaller side.
Yeah.
But I've never heard that our sun is a green green star. I've always heard that it's a yellow dwarf.
This one's actually from NASA, so I trust this, but that's what it says.
Huh.
It says that on this one, for there's a few more, it says stars don't actually twinkle. Stars, they appear to twinkle when they're near the horizon, but they do not actually twinkle. It is a kind of a mirage. And it also says that you black holes do not suck.
Huh.
It's kind of another myth. People always think that black holes are a sucking force. It's funny to say. And it says that it does not. In case of the Large Hadron Collider, which was a simulated black star that they made here on the Earth, they said that for a number of reasons it did not suck.
And the last one is that you can see 20 quadrillion miles at least. On a good night, you can see about 19 and a bunch of zeros miles away.
Well, there you go. That was this week's astronomy and astrology. If you have anything you'd like to throw in on this segment, just go ahead and send us an email at splitview216@gmail.com. And if you, just in general, if you want to get a hold of us, send something there. Make sure you're on our Facebook page. You can search SplitView216. That should be coming right up. And you guys got anything you want to throw in before we get out of here?
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, we have another show tomorrow.
Cleveland, if it's working.
And Poison.
All right, you all have a good day.
Yep, thank you everybody that listened. It was a great show, and we will be back next week at 3 o'clock with more of your favorite news and views with a laugh or two. See ya.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Michaela's got like the best earrings. Sarah, buckle up. I wish my name was Michaela. We're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey. Oh yeah, you fell. I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
It can be tough getting through the kids, but it's your job to make sure they're wearing your seatbelt. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
I thought you made a new app. Oh, okay. Okay, one of us will get it done. I thought that was a pretty good show, actually. I commented, replied to your
What's up,
girlfriend.
Facebook? Just started
Why should I
live
know
on
that?
there.
She goes, you know some of the most craziest stuff.
You do?
But I don't see the one for today.
Are you going down? Because it's pinned on top a different episode, but it should be the next post.
Okay.
Doesn't look like you went live on the actual Facebook page.
Remember I told you that from the beginning?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I will share. I'm going to share it with you.
Yeah, you already did. So you're good.
All right, guys. got a darn doctor's appointment.